Welcome to another edition of Variant Reviews. On this episode, we review the prototype armor, Boba Fett. So here we have the prototype armor, Boba Fett. Again, it's going to be your standard Black Series type box, except for, you know, this wave actually has that blue accent piece. On the side of the box, it's just plain. There really isn't anything to look at there. On the back of the box, you do have a little graphic there showcasing Boba Fett. And a little description there that states, before he put on the familiar Mandalorian armor for the Star Wars saga, this notorious bounty hunter was initially envisioned as a super trooper in all-white armor. This special figure captures the beginning of a character that has become a legend who is both respected and feared across the galaxy, Boba Fett. So I have the weapons here, and these are the exact same weapons from the previous Boba Fett, except these are just repainted. You are losing a little bit of detail. They had some detail here on the butt of the rifle, the handle, some paint here where I guess that little, wherever, I don't know what that's called, but where the bullet comes out, that's where it was like silvery paint. And actually, let me kind of show you. So again, it's just a straight up repaint. Naturally, he would have the same weapons, but you are losing some detail in the weapons. And here's a look at the rifle here. I'm really digging the original rifle a lot better. I think they could have kept the original as is, maybe minus a little bit of that battle damage here, but I think the color scheme of the original would have fit better than this new one here. Here's the jetpack, and this has just been repainted. There's really nothing here that is different from the other one other than it being solid white. It is missing a little bit of detail right here. This is where it would be brown. There would be like a little Boba Fett insignia right here. You can see where the sculpt is on it, but other than that, it's just a solid white. The only thing different is it does have this metallic, other than what the original would have been green. So here's a shot of the original pack and the prototype armor. So you can see that's an insignia I was talking about down there in that lower part. And other than the paint and the distressing, it's exactly the same. Here's that insignia here that Boba Fett has on his little cape there, and you're gonna notice that this is gonna be in pristine condition, whereas the original Boba Fett, his is kind of tattered and torn. Here's a little close-up of the mask here, and you can still see the little indent there. One thing that I'm noticing is this is a straight-up repaint. It's not even sculpted or anything like that, because this is where some of that distressed markings would be, you know, because it would be green and the distressed part would be kind of like a silver, like showing off that the bare metal. So that's what these little dots are. That would be like where that battle damage is, and they didn't even make an effort to kind of cover that up. Here's a little shot of the arm here, and again, that's where the battle damage would be on the original, and again, no sculpting or anything like that there, just straight repaint. And here's the legs. You can see where the battle damage was here. And again, no effort in resculpting or anything like that there. In the way of articulation, his head does turn all the way around 360 degrees. Look at that. He can look down, he can look up. That's pretty good. I like that. His arm does turn all the way around. It does hinge open here. Let me do that. Gotta put a little bit of effort into it. Though he is missing a bicep swivel, he does have a lower elbow swivel. And he bends it here, and he can kind of bend it down that way as well. He has a cuff swivel right here for his glove. His wrist does have articulation. It swivels all the way around. It can tilt up and it can tilt down a little bit, but it's hindered by this top part here of the cuff. He has waist articulation. He can turn that all the way around. In the way of leg articulation, his leg is hindered here by the belt, so you really can't get a good high kick. And when you go back, it is hindered by this back portion here. He has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He has ankle articulation here, and ankle rocker / ankle pivot. And don't forget the peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So here we have a side-by-side comparison of the two Boba Fett's, prototype and the original. Which one do I prefer? The original. I mean, mainly because this is just a repainted version of this guy. I mean, you can still see all the battle damage here, and it just wasn't enough effort in my eyes for it to really be a sought-after figure. I mean, it's just repainted. I mean, if they would have did a little bit of work on the helmet, cover up that dent, some of the battle damage here and there, I mean, then I would see it as something a little bit different than what it is now. Well, that pretty much wraps up my review, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, do I recommend this figure? I would only recommend this figure for a die-hard Star Wars or Boba Fett fan. I mean, for me, this is honestly a pass, because this is just a repaint of the original. There was no effort in at least sculpting some of this battle damage, cover that up so it could look pristine. Because if it is supposed to be a super trooper, super stormtrooper, I mean, they're not going to be going out with some battle damage. They're going to have like some perfect, you know, uniforms or something like that. I mean, it's just, you know, it just really feels like Hasbro's taking advantage of my, you know, my addiction to collecting. At least that's how I feel personally. But again, if you feel like you disagree, feel free to put something in the comments below. So before I forget, check out CityRockersApparel.com. Again, they have everything from records, t-shirts from Tool, Metallica, Slayer. They have action figures. They have masks. You can actually pre-order those masks now. You can get anything from Rob Zombie, They Live, Phantom of the Opera. Again, you know, it's CityRockersApparel.com. You can tell my boy Paco I sent you. And this is the D-Town Jackal saying thanks for watching another episode of Variant Reviews. So before you guys forget, hit the subscribe button, please.